The following Paramount Privacy Policy can be found on the Paramount website at viacomcbsprivacy.com/en/policy. There will be a link below in the video's description. Paramount Privacy Policy. Last modified, April 15, 2024. Paramount is a leading global media and entertainment company that delivers premium content and experiences to audiences worldwide across studios, networks, streaming services, live events, merchandise, and more. You may interact with Paramount and its affiliates, Paramount, or the Paramount family of companies, collectively we, or us, through our global portfolio of networks, platforms, streaming services, and websites, and through our advertisements and customer service tools, all which you may access online, via mobile and connected devices, applications, streaming platforms, or in person at live events. You can find out more about our businesses and brands and the services we provide here, linked to paramount.com/about-businesses, together, the Paramount Services. The controller of your personal information will be the Paramount company that provides the Paramount services to you. You can view a list of the Paramount controllers here, linked to privacy.paramount.com/en/controllers-list. We know how important it is to protect your personal information. This privacy policy explains our practices and your choices on how we collect, use, and share your information when you interact with any of the Paramount services. This privacy policy applies to the Paramount services that we make available throughout the world. Depending on the Paramount services you interact with, our practices with respect to personal information may vary, and there may be additional notices about our practices and your choices that should be read in addition to this privacy policy. For additional information, if you are located in California, USA, please also review this notice. Information we collect about you. We collect your information when you sign up for the Paramount services. We also collect information about how you use the Paramount services. In connection with certain Paramount services, we will also receive information about you from third parties. This information can identify you or your device or can be linked to you. Information you provide. Registration information. When you sign up for the Paramount services or email communications, enter or participate in our contests, giveaways or competitions, sweepstakes, and promotions, or attend one of our events, we collect the information you provide, such as your name, username and password, email address, phone number, date of birth, and information about your preferences and interests. On some of the Paramount services, you may provide us with demographic data, such as age and gender, billing and payment information. When you purchase a product, subscription, or event ticket from us, we collect payment and identity verification information, including your name, email address, physical address, payment method, card details, and billing address. We retain information about the transactions you make on the Paramount services, including purchase history, information, and content you post. When you post or share comments or other content when using the Paramount services, we collect information about that content, such as your username, screen name, comments, likes, interests, status, and pictures. You may choose to post audio or visual content, such as photos, videos, or recordings when using certain Paramount services, or when granting us access to your camera or microphone while using interactive features of the Paramount services. Market research. When we conduct or sponsor market research activities, such as surveys and product testing, we collect the information you provide, such as your name, email address, and certain demographic data, such as your age, gender, race, and ethnicity. We also collect information about your preferences and interests, as well as your opinions on the Paramount services in the context of market research. Your messages and feedback. We collect the information you provide when you contact us directly or provide feedback, comments, or suggestions on the Paramount services, including but not limited to recordings of customer service interactions, chat transcripts, files you attach, and email, text, or other correspondence. Information you provide about others. For some of our features, services, or offerings, like when you refer a friend or relative or invite them to attend one of our events or programs, we collect information you provide about others, such as names, emails, and birthdays. If you provide us with information about others, please make sure you have permission before you provide this information to us and that you have provided them with information about how to access our privacy policy, or in the case of a minor, that you have the authority to do so. Information you provide when you do business with us. If you are a vendor, service provider, or business partner of Paramount, you may provide us with information about you and the services you provide, including your name and your or your employees' business contact information. You or your employees may also provide other information as part of your services and our agreement with you. Information you provide offline. You may also provide us with information in person and offline. For example, when you submit sweepstakes entrance forms or an application to participate in one of our programs by mail or in person. The personal information we collect, depending upon the circumstances, includes your race, ethnicity, gender, age, name, email address, and phone number. Some of the information we ask you to provide is required by law or necessary to enter into a contract with us. If you fail to provide us with this information, we may not be able to provide the Paramount services to you. Information we collect automatically. The information we collect varies based on the Paramount services that you use. We collect and receive personal information associated with you and your device automatically when you use certain Paramount services, including when you interact with the Paramount services on sites, platforms, and services operated by other companies, third-party services. Your device could include your computer, mobile device, gaming system, smart TV, or other streaming devices. We collect and receive device IDs and other unique identifiers and online activity data using device-based tracking technologies such as cookies, pixels, tags, beacons, scripts, and similar technologies. On certain pages of the Paramount services, we use third-party tools to help us look at mouse movements, clicks, keystrokes, data, or text entered, and the pages you visit. For more information about tracking technologies, please see the Cookies and Other Tracking Technologies section below. Online activities and preferences. The types of information we collect and receive automatically include your use of the Paramount services, your preferences, and how you interact with our content. This includes information related to your attitudes, online behaviors, demographics, product and ad choices, interests, and preferences. Online identifiers. We also collect and receive device identifiers, such as IP address, including approximate location information, advertising ID, cookie ID, media access control, MAC, address, and other unique identifiers. Location data. When you visit our offices, we record your presence, including by security surveillance of our premises, including CCTV. We also record your presence if you attend a live performance or a taping of one of our programs as a member of the audience. CCTV data. In addition to location data, we collect videos and images recorded by security surveillance of our premises, including CCTV, automatically when you attend one of our events, visit our offices, or attend a live performance or taping of one of our programs as a member of the audience. Information we collect from third parties. Information from our partners. We collect information from our business partners as permitted by such business partners. Our business partners can include companies such as your TV or internet service provider, mobile phone carrier, or other device provider, or company who makes the Paramount services available to you. The information our business partners provide to us varies depending on the nature of their services and may include online identifiers, demographic data, purchasing behavior, and information about your online activities or preferences. The collection and use of information by such business partners is described in and subject to their respective privacy policies. Information collected through social media. If you connect with us through a social media platform or navigate to a social media platform from one of the Paramount services, the social media platform will collect your information separately from us. You should review the social media platform's privacy policies to understand how they are using your information and your rights in relation to such information. We also collect information you have publicly posted using your social media accounts, including your username or handle if you interact with us on social media, as well as analytics and statistical information about how you interact with us and our content on social media platforms. Information from companies involved in the display of personalized advertising. We partner with companies, including data licensors and aggregators, advertising networks, data analytics providers, and other advertising partners, to help us track your activity across the Paramount services, as well as third-party services, so that we can build a profile about you that helps us display personalized ads to you on the Paramount services and other third-party services. This includes online identifiers and information about your online activities and preferences as described above, information we derive described below, demographic data, and purchasing behavior. Information from other sources. We collect information about you from other sources, such as data licensors, third-party partners, and publicly available information. Information we derive. We derive additional information or draw inferences about you based on the information we have collected from you directly, automatically through your device, or through third parties, such as research agencies and data companies. This includes information about your preferences, interests, approximate location, and likely purchasing habits. How we use your information and why. We process your personal information to provide you with the Paramount services as part of our agreement with you, or to maintain our relationship with you. We also process your personal information to analyze the Paramount services, to improve the Paramount services, to personalize advertising and marketing, to manage safety and security, or when we have a legal obligation or permission to do so. Providing you with the Paramount services. We use registration information you provide offline, billing and payment information, and your messages and feedback to provide the Paramount services. These activities include the following: creating and managing your account, subscriptions and registrations, authenticating your account or verifying your identity, providing you with the services that you request, customer support, and account updates, completing any transactions you request, performing any of our contractual obligations to you, communicating with you, and responding to your questions related to your account or subscription. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when it is necessary to perform a contract with you, for example, to provide you with access to the Paramount services, including subscription services, or to take steps at your request prior to entering into a contract with you, for example, to provide you with information before we start providing our subscription services to you. We also use registration information and content you post, your messages and feedback, information collected through social media, and information you provide when you do business with us to manage our relationship with you. These activities include the following: managing social media interactions and user-generated content, such as posts or comments you submit on public platforms, enabling interactive features, and personalizing the Paramount services and content, managing our audience relationships, shows, and events, managing our relationships with current or prospective partners, corporate customers and vendors, and other business partner personnel, communicating with you, and responding to your questions that are not related to your account or subscription. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when this is necessary for us to achieve our legitimate interests to ensure we are providing the best possible service, engage with our audiences to better understand how individuals interact with us, and communicate and resolve queries from individuals. We have carried out a balancing test to consider how the processing may affect you. You can obtain more information about our balancing test by using the contact details at the end of this policy. Analyzing the Paramount services. We use all categories of personal information to analyze and understand how the Paramount services are operating. These activities include the following: auditing related to counting unique visitors, verifying how Paramount services are displayed, and compliance, determining and managing the effectiveness of our non-personalized advertising and marketing, performing data analytics, research, and optimization, learning more about our audiences, generating insights about our audiences and creating groups of similar audiences, segments, performing accounting, auditing, and other internal functions, recognizing and understanding the preferences, interests, and demographic information of our audiences so that we can personalize your experience with the Paramount services. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when this is necessary for us to achieve our legitimate interests to understand how individuals are interacting with the Paramount services and make recommendations for other Paramount services, understand the effectiveness of our marketing activities, and effectively manage our business. We have carried out a balancing test to consider how the processing may affect you. You can obtain more information about our balancing test by using the contact details at the end of this policy. We also use online activities and preferences, online identifiers, location data, and information from our partners and from other sources to analyze and understand how digital advertising is served on the Paramount services and third-party services. These activities include the following: tracking ad impressions, verifying positioning and quality of ad impressions, and personalized advertising-related auditing compliance. Determining and managing the effectiveness of our personalized advertising and marketing. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when you have given your consent. For more information on this activity, please see the Cookies and Other Tracking Technologies section below. Improving the Paramount services. We use all categories of personal information to improve the Paramount services. These activities include the following: undertaking internal research for technological development and demonstration, undertaking activities to verify or maintain the quality or safety of our services and to improve, upgrade, or enhance them, debugging to identify and repair errors. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when this is necessary for us to achieve our legitimate interests to understand how individuals are interacting with the Paramount services and grow and develop our business. We have carried out a balancing test to consider how the processing may affect you. You can obtain more information about our balancing test by using the contact details at the end of this policy. Marketing and personalized advertising. We use your registration information, billing and payment information, online activities and preferences, online identifiers, location data, information provided by third parties, and information we derive to deliver and display and target personalized ads. These activities include the following: recognizing and understanding your preferences, interests, and demographic information so that we can personalize the ads we deliver to you. This may involve converting your information to hashed identifiers, generating insights about our audiences, and creating segments that we can use to help us deliver targeted and personalized ads to you. Running personalized advertising and marketing campaigns for our own or third-party products and services, including by sending promotional messages and newsletters. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when you have given your consent. For more information on this activity, please see the Cookies and Other Tracking Technologies section below. We also use your registration information, information you provide offline, information provided by third parties, and information we derive to deliver marketing campaigns. These activities include the following: managing contests, giveaways, competitions, sweepstakes, offers, or promotions, including verifying your eligibility and selecting winners. Delivering non-personalized advertising shown as part of your current interaction with us. Running non-personalized advertising and marketing campaigns for our own or third-party products and services, including by sending promotional messages and newsletters. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when this is necessary for us to achieve our legitimate interests, or where this is necessary for providers of third-party services to achieve their legitimate interests. These include to understand how individuals are interacting with the Paramount services and third-party services, run promotional activities to engage our audiences, send more relevant ads and content to you in situations where we do not require consent, and grow and develop our business. We have carried out a balancing test to consider how the processing may affect you. You can obtain more information about our balancing test by using the contact details at the end of this policy. You also have the right to object to direct marketing activities involving profiling. Profiling is where we build a picture of your interests and preferences based on information we collect about you. For more information on your right to object, please see the Your Choices, Rights, and Controls section. Managing safety and security. We use all categories of personal information to manage safety and security on the Paramount services. These activities include the following: conducting security monitoring and access controls to our premises, including CCTV/security cameras, preventing fraud and other illegal activity, claims, and other liabilities. Legal basis: EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information when this is necessary for us to achieve our legitimate interests to ensure the security of the Paramount services and our systems and premises, prevent threats, abuse, or unlawful activity, promote safety and security, and to ensure the Paramount services are used in line with our terms and conditions. We have carried out a balancing test to consider how the processing may affect you. You can obtain more information about our balancing test by using the contact details at the end of this policy. Legal obligations and permissions. When necessary, we use all categories of personal information to comply with our legal obligations, including performing accounting and tax-related obligations and responding to government and judicial requests. We also use your personal information to exercise our rights and remedies, defend ourselves against legal claims, and to comply with and enforce relevant industry standards, our terms, policies, and other rights. Legal basis, EEA, UK, Switzerland. For the above purposes, we process your personal information to meet obligations to comply with legal, regulatory, and other requirements under laws that apply in your country. Who we share your information with and why. The information we share about you varies based on the Paramount services you are interacting with. We share personal information within the Paramount family of companies and with some of our business partners, including those supporting advertising based on your interests. We also share personal information with sponsors and other partners for events, giveaways, sweepstakes, and promotions. We share personal information as part of a corporate transaction to comply with our legal obligations and to protect ourselves. Paramount family of companies. We share your information among the Paramount family of companies linked at privacy.paramount.com/en/controllers-list for the purposes described under how we use your information and why. Service providers. We share your information with certain companies and individuals that provide us with services or who perform services on our behalf. These providers include business support services, customer support providers, web hosting providers, information technology providers, payment processors, event service providers, direct mail and email distribution service providers, partners supporting our contests, sweepstakes, giveaways and promotions, and analytics and market research services. These service providers are only permitted to use your personal information to help us offer the Paramount services to you and not for any other purpose. The types of personal information we share include all the types of personal information listed above. Business partners. We share your information with certain business partners involved in activities such as marketing or co-branded services or events. These business partners use the information we give them as described in their privacy policies. We may also share your information with sponsors, prize partners, and others that support us in events, contests, sweepstakes, giveaways, or promotions. For example, we may share your information with the prize partners to deliver prizes. The types of personal information that we share includes registration information, information you provide offline, information and content you post, information collected through social media, your messages and feedback, and information about how you use the Paramount services. Advertisers. We share your information with our advertisers and other companies to help show ads that you might be interested in and to check how effective those ads are. This includes advertisers that want to advertise to you, agencies that help them do that, websites and apps that show ads, advertising technology partners that connect advertisers with places to show ads, and other companies that help us see how well our ads work, like if you buy something after clicking an ad that tells us whether the ad worked, and identity partners. The types of personal information that we share includes online identifiers and information about what you like to do online, your preferences, as well as other details we learn about you. Sometimes we segment our consumers based on their interests, and we share those groups with companies that will provide additional insights about that group. For more information about your advertising choices, please see the Cookies and Other Tracking Technologies section below. Social media companies. We share your personal information with social media companies such as Meta, Snap, X, etc. so that we can communicate with you or provide you with relevant advertising related to your interests on those platforms. We use the custom audiences services provided by these social media companies to help us both reach you or reach new audiences. The types of information we share includes online identifiers, email addresses, or hashed email address, and information about your online interactions on the Paramount services. Legal advisors, law enforcement, and others. We will share your information with our legal and tax advisors, insurers, law enforcement, judicial and other government bodies, and others when we think it is necessary to do so to comply with the law the legal process, to obtain legal or other professional advice, to respond to legal claims, or to protect our rights or the property or personal safety of our users, employees, or the public. The types of personal information we share include all the types of personal information listed above. Corporate transactions. We may share your information with a potential purchaser and their legal and financial advisors and others, as appropriate, as part of any actual or contemplated reorganization, restructuring, merger, or sale, or other transfer of assets involving our brands, or as part of a joint venture or other strategic partnership. The types of personal information we share includes all the types of personal information listed above. Your choices, rights, and controls. You may have certain rights and choices regarding your personal information, such as the right to ask us for a copy of the information we hold about you. These rights are not available everywhere and may be limited by local laws. For example, these rights may be limited if fulfilling your request would reveal personal information about another person, or if you ask us to delete information that we are required by law to keep. To exercise any of these rights or choices, please visit our Privacy Rights Center, linked at privacy.paramount.com/privacy rights center, and select the relevant form. Your privacy rights. Your rights and how to exercise them. Depending on where you live, you may have the following rights regarding your personal information. The right to confirm whether and how we process your personal information. The right to request access to and a copy of the information we hold about you, including details as to how we process your personal information. The right to object to or restrict our processing of your personal information. The right to request the erasure or deletion of your personal information. The right to correct, amend, or update your personal information. The right to request that we transfer, port, your personal information to another company or third party. The right to withdraw your consent to processing your personal information. For additional information about the additional rights that may be available to you if you live in certain U.S. states, please see Additional Information, U.S. States. If you would like to submit a request to exercise any of the rights that are available to you, ask a question, or contact the Data Protection Officer, please visit the Privacy Rights Center and select the relevant form. Before responding to a request, we may need to ask for additional information and may send you an email to verify your identity and confirm that you submitted the request. We may also need additional information to verify that your authorized agent or representative has the authority to make a request on your behalf. We will respond to your request within the time period required under the law. Please note that while we will carefully assess every request we receive, your rights may differ depending on where you live and may be limited by local law. If you have any unresolved privacy concerns that we have not addressed satisfactorily after contacting us, you may have the right to appeal our decision or contact your local data protection authority to lodge a complaint. For instance, if you are located in the EEA and you have any unresolved privacy concerns, you have the right to lodge a complaint with the Data Protection Authority in the country where you normally reside, where you work, or where you believe a breach has occurred. In the UK, this is the Information Commissioner's Office. In Switzerland, this is the Federal Data Protection and Information Commissioner. Automated decision-making. We may process your personal information using automated decision-making technologies or algorithms, such as when we automatically select advertising or content that may be of interest to you. These technologies are not used to make automated decisions that have legal or similarly significant effect on you. Opt out of receiving marketing messages. To stop receiving our promotional messages, follow the instructions in any marketing message you get from us. In some cases, such as if you have a registered account, you can also change your preferences in your account. Even if you opt out of getting marketing messages, we may still send you important non-marketing messages about your account, the Paramount services you requested, or any purchases you make. When you use any of the Paramount services that send push notifications or offers to your mobile device, you can change your preferences through the settings on your mobile device and/or in the applicable mobile service. Change or update the information you have given us. If you have an account or subscription to one of the Paramount services, you can correct or delete your information or update your account settings by logging into your account and following the instructions or contacting the relevant customer service team for that service. Managing cookies and other tracking technologies. Consent management solution. Depending on where you live, You can manage your preferences via our consent management solution on the relevant mobile or online application. Please note that when you use these tools, you need to renew your choices each time you clear your cookies, use a new browser or device, or visit a different Paramount service. Browser controls. Although most browsers and devices accept cookies by default, their settings usually allow you to clear and decline cookies. Web browsers often store your preferences in a cookie. Blocking cookies may prevent the services from operating as expected and may also prevent storing your preferences and choices. Below are links to the cookie opt-out pages of common web browsers. If your web browser is not listed here, you should review your web browser terms to learn more about your cookie choices. Google Chrome, linked at support.google.com/chrome/answer/95647 HL =sign ampersand P =sign CPN _cookies. Apple Safari, linked at support.apple.com/en-gb/105082. Mozilla Firefox, linked at support.mozilla.org/en-us/kb/enable-and-disable-cookies-website-preferences ? Redirect locale =sign en-us ampersand redirect slug =sign enabling plus and plus disabling plus cookies. Microsoft Internet Explorer, linked at support.microsoft.com/en-us/help/17442/windows-internet-explorer-delete-manage-cookies. Analytics provider opt-outs. To opt out of certain tracking by our analytics providers, you may visit the links below. Google Analytics, linked at tools.google.com/dlpage/ga opt-out. Adobe Omniture, linked at adobe.com/privacy/opt-out.html. Nielsen, linked at nielsen.com/digital-privacy. Some of the Paramount services may feature Nielsen proprietary measurement software that will allow you to contribute to market research, such as Nielsen's TV ratings. For more information about Nielsen's digital measurement products, please review Nielsen's privacy statement here, linked at nielsen.com/digital-privacy. Interest-based advertising. We, our service providers, business partners, and other third parties may use interest-based advertising. This means that we may collect information about you on the Paramount services and on third-party services to help serve advertising relevant to your interests across your devices, browsers, and on and off the Paramount services. For more information on the choices that may be available to you to opt out of receiving interest-based advertising, please visit Digital Advertising Alliance, US, linked at aboutads.info/choices. Digital Advertising Alliance, Canada, linked at youradchoices.ca/en/tools. Digital Advertising Alliance, Australia, linked at youronlinechoices.com.au. Digital Advertising Alliance, EU, linked at youronlinechoices.com. Network Advertising Initiative, linked at optout.networkadvertising.org/?C=1. You can also opt out of interest-based advertising with some of the third-party partners we use, such as Google, linked at adsettings.google.com/authenticated. Please note that if you opt out of interest-based advertising, some information will still be collected for other purposes, such as research, analytics, and internal operations. You will also continue to receive contextual advertisements, but they may be less relevant to your interests. On many mobile devices, you can manage interest-based advertising through your device's settings. These options can include resetting your device's advertising ID or selecting Limit Ad Tracking for iOS devices, or opt out of ads personalization for Android devices in your device settings. Connected devices, such as tablets, connected TVs, set-top boxes, streaming devices, and gaming consoles, may also use an advertising ID or other methods to identify you or serve you interest-based advertising. In some cases, you can disable tracking by selecting options like Limit Ad Tracking or disabling options like interest-based advertising in your connected device's settings. These options will vary by device, and we do not control the policies or practices of third parties providing these devices. Please note that your choice to opt out is device or browser-specific, and you will need to manage your preferences for each device or browser you use. You may also need to make this choice separately on different Paramount services. For additional information on exercising your privacy rights, please see your choices, rights, and controls. For additional information about the rights that may be available to you if you live in the United States, including the right to opt out of sale, sharing for cross-contextual behavioral advertising, and processing for targeted advertising, please see additional information. U.S. states. International transfers. Paramount is a global company that may transfer your personal information to a country, including the United States, that does not provide the same level of protection for your personal information. Paramount may transfer your personal information to the Paramount family of companies, linked at privacy.paramount.com/en/controllers-list. Carefully selected service providers, business partners, and other third parties for the purposes described in this policy. Whenever we transfer your personal information within the Paramount family of companies and to our service providers, business partners, and other third parties, we look at the risks to your information and rely on safeguards, where applicable, to ensure your rights are protected. For instance, we have put in place standard contractual clauses approved under data protection laws in Argentina, the EEA, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom to facilitate transfers to the United States. Children's privacy. The Paramount services covered by this privacy policy are generally not intended for use by children. Instead, our child-directed Paramount services, including our policies around parental consent, are covered by our children's privacy policy, linked at privacy.paramount.com/en/children's. In channels available through our general audience Paramount services, or in areas of those Paramount services that are directed to children, we collect only a limited amount of personal information as permitted by law. Specifically, we may collect IP addresses, device identifiers, certain unique ID numbers, and limited viewing information. We do not use or allow our partners to use this information other than for the purposes of supporting our internal operations, such as to provide children with access to features and activities on the services, to customize content and improve our services, to serve contextual advertising, or limit how often a particular advertisement is seen. We do not allow interest-based advertising on portions of our Paramount services that are directed to children or where we know that the user is a child or teen under 16. Retention. We will retain your personal information for the time period reasonably necessary to achieve the purposes described in this privacy policy, or any other notice provided at the time of collection unless a longer retention period is required or permitted by applicable law. We determine how long to retain information based on the purposes for which it was collected, its sensitivity, our legal obligations, and the purposes set out in this privacy policy. For example, we retain your registration information for the duration of your relationship with us. Once our relationship ends, we retain certain records, including your email address and details about your transactions, for an additional period of time to comply with our legal obligations in certain jurisdictions and to prevent fraud. If you submit a request to exercise one of your privacy rights, we retain records of those requests so that we can comply with them, for example, so that we remember your request to opt out of marketing messages, and so that we can demonstrate that we have complied. In each case, we determine how long to retain information based on how long it is needed to fulfill the purpose for which it was collected, whether we need to retain it for an additional window to comply with record-keeping obligations or to defend against legal claims or prevent fraud. Cookies and other tracking technologies. We may automatically receive certain information about you and your device using browser or device-based tracking technologies described below. These technologies allow us to ensure the Paramount services are functioning correctly, improve the Paramount services, provide and measure advertisements, and provide personalized content to you. You can manage how these tracking technologies are used by adjusting your device or browser settings, and, in some countries, by selecting your preferences in a consent management solution. In some cases, you can opt out of tracking by our analytics providers by visiting their opt-out pages directly. Tracking technologies and purposes. Cookies. Cookies are small data files stored on your browser or device. They may be served by the entity that operates the website you are visiting, first-party cookies, or by other companies, third-party cookies. Pixels. Pixels are small images on a web page or in an email. Pixels collect information about your browser or device and can set cookies on your browser. Local storage. Local storage allows data about your browser or device to be stored locally on your browser or device and includes HTML5 local storage and browser cache. SDKs. SDKs, also known as software development kits, are blocks of code, typically provided by our partners, which may be installed in our applications. SDKs may help us understand how you interact with our applications and may collect information about the device and network you use to access our applications, such as the advertising ID associated with your device or information about how you interact with our applications. The purposes for which we and our partners use cookies and similar technologies generally fall into the following categories. Essential. Examples include carrying out or facilitating the transmission of communications over a network and technologies that are strictly necessary to provide an online service, e.g., our website or a service on our website. Functional. Examples include helping ensure the Paramount services function correctly, remembering your settings and preferences, such as your language preferences, helping to identify and prevent security risks, or helping us understand and improve our services. Analytics and performance. Examples include collecting information about how you interact with the Paramount services and personalizing content for you. Marketing and advertising. Examples include collecting information about your use of the Paramount services, interactions with advertisements, your browsing habits, and other preferences so that we can deliver more relevant and meaningful advertising to you on the Paramount services or on third-party services. Social media. Examples include social cookies, which enable you to share content with your friends on social media platforms, such as Facebook or Twitter. On our child-directed services, we do not use or allow our partners to use automatically collected information, such as IP addresses, cookie identifiers, and other device identifiers, other than to support our internal operations, which include the following: providing children with access to features and activities on those services, customizing content and improve those services, serving contextual advertising and limiting how often you or your child see a particular advertisement on those services. Protecting your information. We have adopted commercially reasonable technical, administrative, and physical security measures designed to protect your personal information from loss, misuse, unauthorized access, and alteration. Changes to this policy. We may update this privacy policy based on new technologies, industry practices, regulatory requirements, or for other purposes. We will let you know if these changes are material and, where required by applicable law, we will obtain your consent. When updating you about any material changes, we may email you at the last email address you provided, post a notice on our websites or applications, or inform you by any other means permitted by applicable law. Contact us. The Paramount company responsible for your personal information can be found in the Paramount controller list, linked at privacy.paramount.com/en/controllers-list. If you have any questions or concerns regarding this privacy policy or would like to contact the Data Protection Officer, please visit the Privacy Rights Center, linked at privacy.paramount.com/privacy-rights-center, and select the relevant form. If you prefer to send your questions or comments by postal mail, please send a letter to the following address: Paramount, attention of Paramount Privacy Team, 1515 Broadway, New York, 10036, United States. Additional information: U.S. states. If you are a California, Colorado, Connecticut, Montana, Oregon, Texas, Utah, or Virginia resident, there are additional disclosures and certain additional rights regarding your personal information, as described below. The rights available to you will depend on the laws in the state where you live. Sharing, for cross-context behavioral advertising, sale of personal information, and processing for purposes of targeted advertising. Certain disclosures of information that we make to third parties or purposes for which we use information we receive from third parties constitute the sale of your personal information, sharing of your personal information for cross-context behavioral advertising purposes, or processing of your personal information for purposes of targeted advertising under applicable laws. For instance, some of our brands disclose certain device identifiers and advertising identifiers associated with your mobile or connected device to advertising partners. Those partners use and share those identifiers to show you advertisements that are targeted to your interests on third-party sites and services. We also receive information from third parties, which we use to help inform which ads to show you on the Paramount services. Where a brand does this or otherwise sells your personal information, we will give you the opportunity to opt out by clicking the Your Privacy Choices link on the footer of the relevant website, or in the settings menu of the relevant mobile or online application or other service. The following types of personal information may be processed for purposes of targeted advertising and may have been shared or sold in the 12-month period prior to the last modified date of the privacy policy. Registration information and online identifiers, names and aliases, email address, IP address, unique identifiers, commercial information, information about transactions or content choices made on or in connection with the Paramount services, online activities and preferences, information related to your preferences, attitudes, online behaviors, demographics, product and ad choices and preferences, location data, information related to your location, including your IP address, social media information, social media statuses and updates, pictures, and references to your online presence. Each category of personal information listed above is shared with or sold to the following third parties to help us target and deliver personalized ads to you on the Paramount services and third-party services as described in this policy. Business partners, for example, marketing companies, sponsors working with us on co-branded promotions. Advertisers and other advertising partners, for example, agencies, publishers, and advertising networks. Social media companies. Parties to a corporate transaction, for example, if we are involved in the purchase, sale, lease, or other acquisition of our systems containing personal information. We do not have actual knowledge that we sell or share personal information of individuals under the age of 16. Do not track. Our websites and apps are not designed to respond to do not track requests from browsers. De-identified information. To the extent we process de-identified information, we will maintain and use the information in de-identified form and will not attempt to re-identify the information unless permitted by applicable law. Sensitive personal information. In the U.S., there may be instances where we process information that is considered sensitive personal information. We use sensitive personal information only when permitted by applicable laws for necessary or reasonably expected purposes, specifically, to provide you with the Paramount services, to perform analytics on the Paramount services, to serve you targeted advertising, and to comply with our legal obligations. Your U.S. privacy rights. In certain U.S. states, in addition to the rights described in the Your Choices, Rights, and Controls section of this privacy policy, you also have the following rights. Opt out of sale, sharing, targeted advertising. You have the right to opt out of the processing of your personal information for purposes of targeted advertising and the sale or sharing for cross-context behavioral advertising purposes of your personal information. Note that if you submit an opt-out request, you will still see ads on our services, though they might be less relevant to you. These ads may be based on historical information or information shared or sold by other sources. Please note that when you use these tools on our services, you may need to renew your choices each time you clear your cookies or use a new browser or device. You may also need to make this choice separately for some of our services. You also can update your browser settings to make certain choices about third-party cookies. Non-discrimination. We will not discriminate against you based on your exercise of any of the rights described above. Appeal. If you have any unresolved privacy concerns that we have not addressed satisfactorily after contacting us, you may have the right to appeal our decision by responding directly in your request or by opening a new request and selecting General Privacy Request and indicating that you are appealing our response to your previous request. In those states where it is applicable, you or your authorized agent may submit a request to exercise any of the above rights by visiting our Privacy Rights Center, linked at privacy.paramount.com/Privacy Rights Center, or by calling us at 888-841-3343. To opt out of the sale or sharing of your personal information, or our processing of your personal information for purposes of targeted advertising, click on the Your Privacy Choices link in the footer of the relevant websites or in the settings menu of the relevant mobile or online applications. Note that your choice to opt out is device or browser specific, and you will need to manage your preferences for each device or browser you use. You may also need to make this choice separately on different Paramount services. In those states where it is required, if you have enabled the Global Privacy Control signal, we will treat this as a request to opt out of sales, sharing, and targeted advertising for device information. Note that we do not associate your browser or device information with your name, email address, and other direct identifiers. If you would like to opt out of the use of this information for sales, sharing, and targeted advertising, please visit our Privacy Rights Center linked above. For more information about how to use the Global Privacy Control Signal, please see here, linked at globalprivacycontrol.org. Notice of collection for California consumers. Categories of information we collect. Details on the information we may have collected about you during the 12-month period prior to the last modified date of the privacy policy, and the sources of that information, are located in the Information We Collect About You section of this privacy policy. Retention. Details on how long we retain your information can be found in the Retention section. Our business purposes. We may use your personal information for the purposes described in How We Use Your Information and Why, and for the following business purposes: providing you with access to Paramount services, analyzing the Paramount services, improving the Paramount services, personalized advertising and marketing, managing safety and security, legal obligations and permissions, shine the light, and eraser laws. Residents of the state of California may request a list of all third parties to whom we have disclosed certain information during the preceding year for those third parties' direct marketing purposes. If you are a California resident under the age of 18 and a registered user of a service where this policy is posted, you may request removal of content or information you have publicly posted. Please be aware that such a request does not ensure complete removal from the internet of the content or information you posted, and there may be circumstances in which the law does not require or allow removal. For all requests under the Shine the Light or Eraser law, please visit our Privacy Rights Center, linked at privacy.paramount.com/privacy-rights-center, and complete the form relevant to your relationship with Paramount and select California as your state. We will only accept requests to exercise these rights through this mechanism. CCPA metrics can be viewed here, linked at viacomcbsprivacy.com/metrics/CCPA. This has been a reading of the Paramount Privacy Policy, last modified April 15, 2024. A link to the full text can be found in the video's description. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.